The Water Cooler Room. It's a social and learning program headed by a Black woman with a special interest in Black children, being highlighted during Black History Month. I'm LaTonya Norton. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Arroyo Now.
So I'm Dr. Ellen, and I am the resident wellness coach.
My name is Tiffany Miller. I'm a teacher, but I'm also an education consultant.
My name is Kelly, and I am a peer counselor for the water cooler.
My name is Shanari Bussey, and I'm the yoga instructor here.
So I do arts therapy. My name is John Barnes III.
I started off being a dancer and doing drill team and all of this stuff, and then I just switched over to like the mind, body, and spirit thing, connecting everything.
I recently graduated from Cal State Dominguez Hills with a degree in psychology.
I work with kids in a lot of different ways, whether it's social, emotional, working with them with their homework, talking with them, any sort of support that they need, really.
I teach fine art, sometimes sculpting, but it's all for K to 8th grade, or actually K to 12.
I have a background of over 30 years in the fields of mental health and psychology, and just working with children and families with all kinds of trauma and other situations.
School's not just about coming in every day and getting good grades. In order to do that, they need to know that they have a safe space to be. As an educator, you know, we always want to be able to support kids academically, but they're going to do that. They're going to have amazing teachers, and that should be a given. But in order to do that, we need to make sure that they feel safe.
They go through a lot, especially now, social media and different aspects that, you know, weren't even there when I was growing up.
They need to be aware of their vessel and how it works with your mind, and also spirit as well, so that they know these things, to be kind, to be patient, to be thoughtful, nice, and to practice actual strength and balance.
Kids who cannot speak can use art to visualize what they're saying in their heart.
Kids need an outlet. You know, they're living in a different time these days. There's a lot of things that happen that we didn't experience, a lot of traumatic experiences, a lot of social media issues, things that they're exposed to earlier than they should be. They don't have the tools for that. So they need a community of people that will help them feel safe and supported, and where they can have an outlet to experience whatever it is they're going through, and in a safe space.
The dream that Jackie has, really, coming into these schools and working with students, giving them the support that they need, whether it's educationally, working with them. You know, so many of them just need support personally. Coming in with if they're having a hard time, when they're having a hard day, if they're going through emotional just struggles.
I met Jackie through a business relationship, and we were just talking, and she was explaining her vision.
Jackie, she was awesome in her presentation and her drive and her passion for it, and when she told me, it just sparked something and it ignited, and from there.
At that moment, it was like, okay, I'm in. She was like, I need people, and it was just really an organic situation for us, and ever since then, I've just been all in.
So many kids, it's not about the academics, it's about what they're going through in life. And so she's created this amazing support system for them.
The role of a counselor, it's right up my alley, right what I want to be doing. I love working with the youth in particular.
We need to make sure that they have a place where they can come and they know that they can express themselves. They know that they can come and get the support that they need in any capacity.
Please listen to your kids. Their voice matters. When we grew up, we were told, be quiet, go sit over there. It doesn't matter. Your opinion doesn't matter. These kids are going through real situations. And when they don't have a support system and the tools that they need, we're having very negative results, and things are happening. The suicide rates are going up and all of that. So we have to get together with the children, with the families, and we have to be there for them and listen to them because their voices do matter.
The world needs it, really. Like, the world needs to be mindful. We need to be present. We need to be kind to each other. We need to be aware of our actions and how we treat each other. It matters.
We are here with Jacqueline Snell. She is the founder of the Water Cooler Room here at McKinley School in Pasadena. Jacqueline, thank you so much for being a part of our program. And first off, what is the Water Cooler Room?
The Water Cooler Room is a restorative room that's for wellness for students here at a school. It's so important for social emotional learning to take place because of all that's going on. So we created a room specifically for students to have a safe space while in school to learn. This gives you a space to come and retreat if you're having depression, you're having anxiety. A lot of times we have a lot of bereavement that's going on as well, and we find that the kids just can't focus. We have kids who are, just depressed because of what's going on at the home, what's going on with society after COVID, being locked up for so long. These kids are having a problem with just getting back out and reaching out and being a part of people and being one-on-one. So this room was dedicated to kids who needed a safe space to just take a deep breath and breathe. And refreshments are provided, and a paraprofessional is provided to just listen. And it gives us the ability to just be first responders for our students while they're getting their academics together. Once they're all clear with us reviving them and listening and restoring them, they go back to class and have a successful day.
How did you come up with this idea?
Prayer and observation. I recall what happened to me. We didn't have this for me when I was going through some social emotional turmoil. Nothing like what they go through now, but just identifying who I am, wanting to be liked, maybe being too popular or not, understanding who I was as an African American woman, being told I didn't pass a paper bag test. That's something that goes on with with some of our culture, not passing a paper bag. But I had no one to talk to. I didn't know how to express it because I didn't know what was wrong with me. But at the end of the day, I knew that had I had someone to reach out to just listen to me and not judge me, not try to diagnose me or give me any prognosis, but just listen to me, I would have felt that I would be heard. So this is what this was developed. These kids need to be heard. And if you can't express yourself, this room actually gives you a place to write journals, to write, and have art to just express yourself, and just to be free here in a calm Zen arena.
This is amazing. What difference have you seen this room have on the lives of these young people?
I'm glad you said that, because when the kids come in, they just get so excited because they know this is their room for them. And they appreciate this room by understanding that this is an environment that they're not used to in the school. So we find that kids really actually come in here. We say, please take advantage of this room, but do not exploit this room. We want you to come in and enjoy this room because it is a place for you to restore. And this truly is your safe space. Don't worry. Now, of course, we're mandated reporters. If we hear something that's not quite right, and it could be very dangerous, and of course their safety's in jeopardy, and we let them know that. But for the most part, they're here to relax on lunchtime. for example.
Okay.
This not only during the school day, in between classes when you're having anxiety or depressed, we also have lunch periods where we have a 30-minute segment each day, weekly. So Monday is Meditation Mondays. We have Tea Time Tuesdays. We kind of call it the sip and sketch, but you know, we're sipping tea, we're sipping
Yes.
hot chocolate and water. And we have art therapy
Yeah.
that comes in to play. We have our Wednesday wellness, which you see is quite popular now, where we have our yoga, and we
Nice.
do wellness things here in the room. And we have Therapy Thursday, where we have our coach or non-clinical experts that come in and we do circles with dealing with anxiety, dealing with peer-to-peer counseling, dealing with emotions, dealing with self-love. We actually on Wednesdays too have an actual group for our African American students that come in, both boys and girls. We have a segment where we have boys to men, and then we have these young ladies who name themselves the Leading Ladies.
Nice.
And so this is a group of young ladies who were influenced by social media, likes and things of that nature that weren't quite safe. And they have now built upon themselves to be ladies who lead. And so we encourage that, and this is what this room is for. It's for everybody, but this is most definitely a safe space, specifically also for our African American students.
And you said something very important. As soon as you said social media, I looked around the room. I don't see technology.
Nope. The only thing you might see technology is that TV over there that has a waterfall that
Yeah.
shows Zen, that's green, and it has just a tranquil feeling in here that's just calming and soothing.
And is that by design, that that kids have to unplug, no screen time? Because social media, we know, is driving a lot of the things you mentioned, depression, anxiety, all of these things. Is that by design?
Yes, it is. In fact, that's one of our rules here at McKinley, no cell phones, but specifically here, not in here. This is not a sanctuary for cell phones. So we get the kids to be engaged with talking about themselves,
Yes.
talking to our paraprofessionals that are here, to just listen, to showcase their art, teach them how to journal their thoughts, because a lot of times the water cooler is not here for them. A lot of times when they're at home, they, like I said, they don't want to talk. So we've been teaching them how to journal their feelings.
Yes.
So once they journal that, they can get back to who they are and understand their feelings and track. Because at the end of the day, we all have our ups and downs. Every day we're not happy. And they need to understand that every day is not a happy day, but it's an okay day. And understand that tomorrow is tomorrow, and live for the moment. And that's what we express to them, that it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to have a little anxiety, but what do we do with that? So we show them how to breathe.
And your team, you have a team of professionals.
Amazing professionals that have come in who are community advocates, as well as having their own businesses on their own that they partake in with adults and other people in the community and outside of the community. And we're just so fortunate to have so many walks of life that come in here and bring their professionalism as well as their passion to help our children in our community. And it's just amazing working with all of them. I hope and pray, and we all do, that this type of room that's been created for our kids here are everywhere at every school, because it's needed. It's needed to just take a break.
And I know of schools who have similar rooms like this. I also know, believe it or not, of a city hall. A city hall where there is a meditation room for people to go in and de-stress. So I'm thinking beyond schools. I'm thinking public buildings. I'm
Yes.
thinking everyone. It needs to be accessible to everyone.
You know, I'm glad you said that, because we're hoping, this is like a phase, because we know a lot of the mental health has been directed to adults and not allowed to our kids, but now they are. And so one of the things that we're trying to also do being here is give self-care to our teachers.
Yes.
Because they need to put the mask on first. How can you help our kids if you're having issues? So we like to try to bring this room here for them. In fact, starting next month, Thursdays is going to be shut down for the kids just for lunch, so the teachers can come in and experience the water cooler room and get self-care. But also we want to go beyond this. We know the parents need it too.
Yes.
So we're going in phases. So we want to take care of these kids, but we also want the parents to know that you too need to breathe. You need to understand, so you can better understand your children as you understand life when you go to work, school, or just surviving just on the freeway to get to or fro.
And the stress trickles down.
It
Because
does.
that's part of the reason why the kids need a place to de-stress, because the parents are stressed.
Absolutely. And then if the parent doesn't know what's going on, how can they help the next?
Right.
So
So
and then
this
we
is
got to
just-
break out cultural issues too, because culturally people don't want to deal with mental health. They think it's just,
the stigma.
It's a stigma, but
Yeah.
no, it's real. Emotion is emotion. And we have to take care of that. But the other thing is, yes, we want to go into corporate settings.
Yes.
We don't want any more shootouts. We want people, if you just listen to them and give them a safe space to be heard,
Yes.
and just talk it out, we might prevent a lot of things because somebody really truly cared and heard you, and they gave you resources that might help you throughout your day. Because we're not here, like I said, we're not clinical, we're non-clinical, but we have so many resources that we can refer you out to that can help you beyond us. We're the paramedics, we're just first responders. We're just listening, and then if we can listen to you and not talk so much, we can better hear you to help you. And that is what this is all about. So yes, this should be in corporate America. Yes, this should be with our teachers. And this has to be for our African American kids because they're the most people who don't get heard.
Yes.
Because they're not understood. And I'm getting emotional.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. It's serious. It's serious. I get it. And it's about giving everyone, but especially our people, a voice and a
And it starts here because they're here more. And there's so many walks of life that come in that just don't understand our kids. We come from different walks of life.
I get it.
So the suspensions need to go down.
I think we both need to breathe.
Yep.
And this is the breathing room, right?
Yes.
This is what this room is for.
So if we can just do that right now. And I just ask everybody just inhale. Tell our kids to inhale. 8 seconds. And just release. Inhale one more time. And release. Suicide is too high for all our kids, but especially in our African American girls and boys, is just too high. And they need to be heard and they need to have a safe space. And this is it, right here at the school. So we can then get you home. And then you bring it home. And then you bring your parent here. And then it's going to be an amazing circle. We need our teachers to understand that too.
Yeah. Is suicide one of the topics or issues?
Oh my God, yes. So
that
part
you've
of
dealt with here?
Yes, leading ladies, one of the topics that we ask them, because as leading ladies, we just don't want the name, but be about it. Show us what you want to do and what are the things that you want to address to help your peers.
Okay.
And suicide was the #1 topic because they have so many of these kids know so many other kids who have committed suicide or thought about committing suicide, so now they want to commit suicide.
And this is middle school.
This is middle school. We're talking 6th through 8th. You also have drug addiction. It's high. These vapors and all kinds of things and these pills and these drugs, they want to do campaigns like drug suicide prevention. These are these babies who want to do this because they see it and they experience it. They want to also end racism. They're tired of having to hear the N-word and other people hearing things about them that's derogatory. And they want to help. They want to end racism because at the end of the day, these kids don't tell you every day, we're all the same.
Yeah.
We all go through the same things. We just look a little different, but we are still the same inside. So it's some work.
Yeah.
But they realize it. That's the beautiful thing about it. And this environment gives them that time to talk about it. And they see that they're not alone. That's why it's so important to have peer-to-peer, because they can help one another.
I'm sitting here thinking, well, what do they do on the weekends
Social.
when they can't get into this room?
Well, that's the thing. So we're trying to get them to understand, take what you get from here and take it home
Yeah.
and take it with you, and understand that these techniques that we're showing you benefit you here and outside. Like I said, yoga, teaching them how to breathe. We have
Yes.
a young lady who teaches them how to just sit there and just stretch and be within yourself and breathe.
Yeah.
Our session groups. We just had a day of solace this past holiday where we help students who grieve. We have several kids who are just grieving. They literally have lost their mom, their dad, and their grandparents, and they didn't have them for Christmas. So we decided to put what was called a day of solace, and we had community partners that came in and that helped us make this an amazing event. We had grief counselors that were clinical licensed that came in, and we did session groups. We knew we couldn't replace their loved ones, but we needed to let them know that they weren't alone, and there were resources to help them go through their grieving that they just embarked upon just this year. We've had kids of all different walks, from being having kids who have, I guess what you call their siblings got shot and killed here in Pasadena. We had a student who walked in and their grandmother committed suicide. We have kids who lost friends because they're suicide. These kids are going through a lot, so they need a room to breathe. How can they add 2 + 2 with all this on their mind? How can
It's
they?
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And of course, we are here to recognize what you're doing and what this room means to this school and these students. But we're also here recognizing Black History Month.
Yes.
And this is something for our people,
Yes.
for all people, but for our people
Yes.
especially.
Yes.
So many would not have a place to go or a place to be heard if not for this room.
You're right. And that's why it has to go to every school. It has to go, like you said, in corporations outside of the school. But let's start here, because this is where it's needed. And this is the focus. They're here all day. They spend more time here than they are at home, Monday through Friday.
Why McKinley School?
Because McKinley is a school that I was here once before, but for the most part, they have an amazing principal here, Dr. Stewart, and an amazing assistant principal, Mr. Harris. And they opened arms. They heard about the program. See, this program also causes issues and problems too, see.
Now tell me about that. There's
Because
always a flip side
there's
to
always a
everything.
yes, because it's misunderstood.
Okay.
This is considered rewarding bad behavior.
Rewarding bad behavior.
Yeah, when they come in the water cooler room, because they hear how they are pampered with love. They're pampered with food and drink and a nice room that's comfortable, that has a couch, that just takes them away out of their negative space. So some people look at this as rewarding bad behavior. But this is restorative. And see,
Yes.
McKinley and the principal and the assistant principal understood what restorative mean and what restorative situations were and measures are and safe spaces are. It wasn't about a bad or good reward. It was about a safe space. So McKinley was special in inviting us to do this and allowing us to not only just have the aesthetic that you see here, but the actual programs that are going to make a difference. And I'm grateful.
At our core, we all just want to be seen and heard
Yes.
and know that we matter.
Yes. Because we do matter.
That's what everyone wants.
Yeah. And everybody does. And they deserve it. And they should. And that's why this room is for everybody. However, we have to put a cherry on the top for our African American kids.
Sure.
And they have to see others that look like them for that safe space as well. Because it's hard to trust.
When I arrived at the school just minutes ago, a beautiful young lady escorted me here. And on our walk, I asked her, I just wanted to do my own little market research, if you will, but I said, have you ever gone to the water cooler room? Her face lit up. Her face lit up, and she said, yes. And I said, so what do you think about it? It's cool. When you can get a middle school person to say something's cool, you're doing something.
And it's not the computer, hallelujah.
And it's not the
Not the
computer.
phone.
You're doing something here.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's the point. It's so not about me. It's so not about the adults. It's about our children
Yeah.
and how we can help them and how they can get over it.
Tell me the feedback. What are kids saying? What are you seeing? What are you feeling? What do you see on their faces? And how have you seen this room change their lives?
I feel like they feel important. They've been heard. That was the number one thing.
Yeah.
And they take ownership. I see how they take ownership. I see how they clean after themselves most of the time. I see how they depend on this room, that they rely on this room. Like now, we had some kids come in earlier today and we were trying to fix things up and they were just like, oh, but I need to come in. But we'll come and get them back. And I like that. I like the fact that they understand that this is truly a safe space. We will have kids lined up. When we first got here and this started the first week, they thought it was a fight or something happened because they were like, why is everybody off the playground and why are they here? And they were lined up in the hallway trying to get in like this was a club or something. And so I love that because they wanted to come in here just to be heard and just to be a part of this and just know that this is theirs and that they come away with something.
Yes.
And so we're excited about that. And we're just so excited. And that's where the idea came from Friendsgiving. We even had the kids now make up little things that they would like to do that's group oriented, that relates to things that they would like to do in a friendly manner with their family here. So we did like a Friendsgiving. Few sixth graders brought that up. They wanted a potluck. They wanted to bring things. And it was very diverse.
I love it.
And so we did that. And then it was an amazing experience because not only did they share with one another and feast with one another, they invited their teachers to come and they sat right here on these couches. And do you know they got up individually and told why they appreciated their teachers. It was an amazing time.
I bet the teachers were shocked.
They were shocked and was surprised and just overwhelmed and was happy.
What I hear you say and what I feel as I look around this room, there's no judgment. There are no labels. We're not here to diagnose you, label you. There's no judgment and everyone is equal.
Everyone is equal and they're respected.
And respected.
And then they get a little bit of that old school though too, like, nah, think about it. You know what I mean? Think about it, but without judging them and without telling them to do. But it's just a wholesome feeling in here.
Yeah.
Everyone that was here was appointed and anointed, literally appointed and anointed, because they bring in so much spirituality that's just so positive that it's unbelievable. It's like you don't have to preach it. They just teach it naturally and people receive it.
It's already here.
It's here.
It's already here.
It's amazing.
Tell me about your team.
Amazing team. I prayed and I was able to just ask for guidance.
Sure.
And leadership. And he just kept leading me. It was like relationships that I was meeting through this journey as I put the team together that just came.
I love when that happens.
It was just amazing. And I just got to know, her name is Nari. And we had gotten together in a car ride to go to camp. Both of our kids were invited to a camp. I didn't know her. And we were partnered with a mutual friend to carpool. And it was a long drive. And we got to know each other. And I was like, oh my God. So I let her know what I was doing. And of course, it works out perfectly.
Wonderful.
The other ones, we were just knowing. I knew like John Barge III. He is an amazing artist. I used to do jazz concerts back in the day. I was actually one of the ones who brought jazz back to Pasadena because
wow.
I was trying to raise money for the school district. I'm third generation here in Pasadena. And again, a lot of things had changed when I had my own kids. And so I noticed that we needed to bring jazz back too. For some reason, Pasadena got rid of jazz. Well, John was one of the artists that came. And when we had Kirk Whalum, we were able,
wow.
I have an entertainment background, so I was able to
Okay.
make a few calls, and we got a lot of amazing talent that came in to do this concert to raise money just to build this journey. And John was literally up there, at that time I think he was invested in types of food and things of that nature where he painted. He had coffee grinds and different things that he painted with, but he come up with this amazing portrait of the artist. And so he did one for Kirk, I'm gonna say Kirk Franklin, but Kirk Whalum. And it was amazing. And so 10 years later, again, I gotta find John.
Wow.
And John accepted my call immediately, and I asked him would he join the team because we needed this art therapy, and he had such an organic approach to art, and just his spirit was just amazing, and him being a positive male role model for all, he just had to be the one, and he said yes. And we are just having an amazing time with him. He actually just did a project where their kids presented this thing for the Super Bowl that's coming up, where they're going to be in a habitat, wildlife habitat, where there are pictures of tigers and lions and wildlife will be presented at an exhibit through art therapy, through our children's minds and eyes. And so we're excited about him, and he brings that to the table. Other people like my friend Alondria Hampton, who's a very good friend of mine, who heard and believed in me. She's a big wig at Kaiser, hope I can say that, but she finds the time to come in, and she's the one that designed this room.
Once you accepted your assignment, it all came together.
It came together. Then all of a sudden we knew we needed coaches like Dr. Ellen Williams, who's local as well.
Okay.
I mean, we wanted the non-clinical and the clinical, but you have to be very careful with the school system because you don't want people to misunderstand what we're doing in terms of clinically licensing, doing things with kids without permission. However, we did come on a non-clinical approach, and Dr. Williams fit in so well with her coaching and her listening to kids. We got vision boards happening. We have all kinds of just wonderful group sessions that we're doing with her, along with self-care. She's going to be helping us lead our self-care for our teachers that are coming up soon.
Tell me about the different stations.
Okay, so we have, this is the lounge that you're in. This is the
nice.
kick it room where you come in and you lounge. And sometimes they'll put their feet up and get on their books, or they'll listen, or they'll pull out their journals, and they just sit here and relax. We have music that plays in the background that's very soft and tranquil for the soothing, like a spa atmosphere. And we give them that quiet time. We have a table over there where they'll sit and eat their lunch, or they'll write or do art. On that table. We have our beanbag section over here.
I love the beanbag section.
Well, they can sit there and they read and they're just comfortable, or they'll play a nice friendly game of Uno. We have our chess players.
Nice.
And then that station is where our food is. We have snacks. We have things from oatmeal to snacks to water, tea, hot chocolate. And this is their place that they come in. It's kind of like a little club for them during class, and it's theirs. And we do this for them every day. It's just furnished every day.
They can come in during class?
So what we do
What are the rules here?
So the rules are, just to keep everybody accountable, we need you to get permission from your teacher. We've partnered with our teachers and administration because sometimes they might see someone who's just not focused and they need time to breathe. So they'll give them what we call a water cooler pass. We made special blue passes that the teacher has, and they'll check the student out and they'll come in. You can't come in unless you have that golden ticket, which is our blue pass for the water cooler room. And that's how they'll come in during the day in between classes. It varies. They might come in for 10 or 15 minutes. Some might need the whole period, but they can come in and they can do their homework because we don't want to disrupt academic time, but we do know that you can't successfully have academic quality time if you're not focused. So this is what they're here to do, is to rejuvenate and focus and get back to class.
So on any given week, you see
We have about 10 to 15 students that come in a day. When we have a special event, it's close to the whole 300. We have what we call Fun Day Fridays. We'll go out with live music. We'll have games. We brought back Double Dutch.
you take this out of the room.
We'll go out of the room,
Okay.
and we'll go outside in the courtyard, and they'll have lunch. Sometimes we will host lunch as
Okay.
well, and they'll have fun time. They can play basketball, they can hear live music, Double Dutch. They're doing what's that? Dodgeball. They have very much softer balls.
Yeah.
Dodgeball, and they do all kinds of things to keep them active during
Yeah.
this time. So it's called our fun time, our Fun Day Fridays. And sometimes we'll have special guests that come through, and they'll bring pizza, they'll bring food. It cuts down that just sitting around in the corner at lunch and having anything to do. And then there might be some things going on that we're not aware of, and we're trying to reduce these fights. So how about have a fun time? Well, how about get more activities going on during the day, so that takes their mind off of whatever it is that was distracting them into a more positive distraction by being involved with some type of physical activity.
Anything else that we haven't covered?
Money, especially for the food. So if it's not anything monetarily, how about in kind? Find out what especially the parents, find out what your kids like, or help us help you with a healthy bite or two for our kids outside of the lunch program. No negative talk towards, no disrespect to the lunch cafeteria.
Sure.
But, there's other treats that I think the kids would like that are healthy but fantastic that I think we need to incorporate. So I think all schools need to partner more with their local grocery stores and local vendors to dig into our schools, not just McKinley, but all our schools, to help our kids during the day, as well as our teachers. Help us treat them.
And what are you hearing from parents about this program?
They're loving it. We're getting parents outside of McKinley who are hearing about it. Like, how can we have it at our school? What's going on? Just ask your principal, and they'll ask the district and have us come in. But they're loving it. They're loving the fact that the kids are engaged in a safe space. We had one parent who came to open house one day and just thanked us over and over, because we had a student who just transitioned from 5th grade to 6th grade, and none of her friends were here. And she cried every day. In fact, she would beat me here, and she'll be at my heel,
Right.
just crying.
Aw.
And just crying because she was just so nervous. She now runs our friends peer-to-peer group. She brought some friends in. She's happy.
Growth.
Mom is happy that she's not calling her every day at work, or her having to take off her work to come to school. And this is, again, these are type of things that we need. So we need to understand this is good for kids who need to go the first time they transition to another school, whether it be a foster child, whether it be grade-wise. This is necessary. And let's talk about our foster kids real quick. This is a true support system for our foster children, because a lot of them don't know their parents. And a lot of them do know their parents, but their parents opted for them to go be in foster homes for whatever reason. So we provide that support for our kids who are in the foster homes as well. We're a Tier 1 organization, which means we help everybody, whether you are in a spectrum, identifying a spectrum, having an IEP, Medi-Cal, not Medi-Cal, just here, we do it. We help them, and we help them make sure that they're safe.
And we touched on this a couple of times, but before we wrap up, I just want to touch on it one more time because it's worth it.
Yes.
Our kids.
Yes.
Our kids who are in perhaps homes or communities that deal with different circumstances and issues than other communities. And they bring whatever they're dealing with to school. This is a safe place.
Yes, it is. This is it. Just come. Just come. You'll be heard. You'll be heard here.
And you've seen that remarkable change.
Yes. I remember one, I don't know what happened to her, but just quiet, didn't want to talk, just very reserved. She's part of our leading lady. She talks. We can't stop her from talking.
She found her place.
She found her place.
She found her community.
Yes. She can relate.
Yeah.
I've had girls come in because they couldn't talk to their moms because their moms work so hard. I had a young man in here bawling, crying because he couldn't talk to his mom. He missed his mom. And I go, where'd she go? Well, she's at home, but she works all the time. And I just miss her. So we would pull out our lovely letterhead, have him write a letter. Write a letter to your mom. And then we suggest you write the letter and place it at her dinner her setting or on her pillow. So when she gets home, she can see how you feel. And a week or two later, they just hug me and thank me. Thank me because that's exactly how they needed to communicate, and now they're speaking more. Their relationship is building. And that goes on all age levels, just not understanding how to communicate and just being heard. Because it's hard for parents, and we understand that. But this is what we're here for. It's not a disconnect, it's a connect for us because that's our job, to listen, so they get it. They get an adult to hear them and not judge them.
What do you want every single child that walks into this room to leave with?
To know that they are loved, that they are appreciated, and that we need them.
Anything else?
And just know that they have not forgotten, and just know that they are so powerful, and they are so amazing, and they're just uniquely created. And that's a great thing to have. And don't let nobody tell you otherwise. Nobody.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for the amazing work you're doing for this community.
Thank you.
We've all heard of the 3 R's of education. Well, here at McKinley School in Pasadena, one woman is adding a 4th R to the list: restoration.